Academica Media. You are listening to Charter School Superstars, bringing you the voices of an education revolution.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Ryan Kairalla. Our guest this week is one of our favorite folks to have on this program. He is the CEO of Edthena, a video-based teacher coaching platform. Recently, Edthena has been developing new professional learning programs that employ artificial intelligence to support teacher development. You can find out more about our guest's work by visiting www.edthena.com and www.youraicoach.com. We are happy to welcome back, Adam Geller on a Charter School Superstars. Hi, Adam. Great to be chatting with you again.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, as always.
It is a treat every single time. You always bring some of the coolest innovations to us. Once I interview you, I always have to call up all my educator friends and be like, you won't believe the cool stuff I got to share with you. Check this out. And I think this week's discussion is going to be no exception to that. Before we get into what you're working on now with AI and professional development, which sounds really, really exciting, let's get the uninitiated out there initiated. Can you tell the folks a bit about your company, Edthena?
Absolutely. Well, Edthena is a professional learning company focused really focused on teacher learning. My background is as a classroom teacher, so that's kind of the lens I bring to this work, as thinking about teachers first. And as you mentioned, we are thinking about how you use video to really amplify what's possible within professional learning. So we have now a variety of platforms and tools available. A lot of folks know us for our video coaching platform, which helps school leaders and coaches facilitate observation and feedback with teachers using recorded videos. We also have a tool that helps organizations build libraries of best practices. And then what we're here to talk about today, we have a brand new platform called AI Coach, which enables teachers to coach themselves, which is a pretty wild thing to say. And I know we'll be talking about that, but we're really excited, of course, about that. But I think, the theme that runs through all of our work is the belief that having the evidence of actual classroom teaching and using that to analyze and think about what teachers are doing and how they're going to be learning and changing is really important to unlocking every teacher's full potential.
I definitely share your excitement in the prospect of being able to use cutting-edge technology like AI in the professional learning and professional development context. But before we get into a broader discussion of how AI can be used as a tool for professional learning, I'd love to kind of just start us off with a clear definition for the tech phobic out there. Can you kind of start us off with just what it means to be artificially intelligent? Like, what is artificial intelligence just generally?
Yeah, I really love that question, because without that question, we can find ourselves making assumptions about what AI is, and those assumptions often land us in the territory of science fiction, right? Because a lot of us are defining AI by what we see in the movies, or what we're reading, which may describe something that's coming eventually, but is not something that's happening today.
Yeah, either something super friendly like the computer on Star Trek, or something horrifying like the computer in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's exactly it. Exactly. So, artificial intelligence, we all have been interacting with various forms of artificial intelligence for some time now. For example, I'm going to guess almost every listener to your show has asked a virtual assistant on their phone, what is the weather tomorrow? Or what time is it? And that is answered via artificial intelligence. It may not be apparently or immediately obvious that that's intelligence, but if you think about it, you are in that scenario asking what's called an unstructured question, an unstructured query to a computer. It's doing a bunch of things to analyze it and decide what type of question you're asking. It executes, in that case, a search for you and then returns information back and then says it out loud. So that's kind of under the hood of how that system is working. Of course, those assistants can do a lot more, but there are other ways that people are experiencing artificial intelligence. Things like grammar tools that can suggest, hey, you're using the wrong version of there in this sentence. It's THEIR instead of THERE. That's also artificial intelligence. So for me, I'm becoming more expert on what is AI, but I often think of it as a category of the computers are able to execute instructions for us in a way that's there's some automation, there's some convenience. It's solving a problem for us without it being explicitly programmed to do that task. And so I think that's that last part, right? Like the computer can respond flexibly to the user's input. That for me is the real hallmark of all the different types of artificial intelligence we see out there.
Well, you've definitely opened my eyes in that respect, right? Because when I think of AI, I think of something that's like far off into the future, or maybe is only being done by the most advanced scientists out there. But what you've made very clear is AI is already all around us, whether it's our Siri virtual assistants or Alexa, depending on what tech platform you're using, or even a platform like Grammarly that's telling you how to check your grammar when you're just typing stuff on your computer, or the virtual bots that a lot of companies are using to do customer service and things like that. This is a regular part of our lives, so why not use the power of this technology in the professional development context? So now I'm curious, how can we use AI in the PD context for teachers? Can you give us an example or two?
Yeah, so I think that the kind of best mental model here to use would be to answer that question first with, how do we think about using AI to drive and support student learning? What are the things we already know is possible and feel confident that is working? So things in the student world of personalized learning where students answer a question a certain way and the computer is able to respond with additional learning based on
Like
how that
adaptive
learner is
learning,
proceeding. Yeah. Adaptive learning, right. So I think examples like that are what is real world and really possible today. We're going to talk, of course, about what the AI coach is, but this maybe is a great moment for me to define what it is not, and importantly, what teachers don't want from AI, at least not right now. They do not want an artificially intelligent computer to observe them and proclaim that the computer has the answers and tells them what to do. Right. So that is not what we're talking about here. I think that's really important, right? Because we're not kind of easing into that moment where I reveal, and the computer is going to observe the teacher. In fact, that's not what happens at all. We are in the space of using the computer to bring the right resources at the right time to teachers as learners, adapting and adjusting to their individualized needs and ensuring that they have the support to complete very complex professional learning tasks in a supported, moderated way, so that they can have their thinking guided in the same way that they expect a coach to do when they're sitting shoulder to shoulder.
Wow. All right. So I imagine that's an important disclaimer.
Is it a good teaser to get you to ask me what it is now?
Well, it is, but I think it was important for you on the front end to just kind of allow every teacher out there listening to just breathe a sigh of relief that this isn't like some Big Brother device that's going to like monitor you. And, this is the Star Trek one, not the 2001 The Space Odyssey one. That's cool. All right. So that's a great, thing that makes us all feel a lot better about the rise of this particular machine. So talk us a little bit more about the day-to-day, like what does this look like in practice?
Yeah, so the AI Coach platform is a tool that teachers can use on their own. Imagine it plugs in between those visits that you're having with your school leader, with your instructional coach, or if those people, of course you have a school leader, but if you don't have an instructional coach in your building, this could be a pair, to provide that support model along the way. And the idea is that, if you think about the benefits of coaching and why coaching is so important, it's that guide on the side that helps, as I think I might have said before, moderate your thinking, right? Help mediate your thinking, help you structure the way you're going to analyze your own practice. So when teachers use the AI Coach platform, they're still recording videos of themselves in their classrooms. They're uploading that video. And then they're actually having a conversation with a virtual coach. Her name is Edie. She's got a nice squarish face and a smile. She's a little blue, and she's not sad blue. She's blue in the face. But you're talking with this coach, you're able to converse with it, but more importantly, the coach is asking open-ended questions. Brian, what are you interested in learning about right now? And so if you're thinking coming into this observation that you want to learn about, you want to observe yourself for how you're using checks for understanding and use of academic language, you have that agency and choice. And you can identify that to the virtual coach. And then as you go through the process of analyzing your video, you'll receive customized tips for the observation. And when you go into then setting a goal for your classroom, you'll have those kind of curated resources to access. So this is really a supportive tool to aid teachers in their constant quest to be self-reflective practitioners. And then at the end of it, the teachers have an artifact that they can use to go into their next collaboration with their coach or their colleagues.
That is pretty exciting. So what I'm getting from this is that the AI in the PD process is a valuable tool, but it's not meant strictly as a replacement for conventional professional development done by humans, whether it's a coach or a school leader on a campus, but often as like a supplement, as like a in-between session thing for teachers. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, look, if I could wave a magic wand and give everybody a coach in the back of their classroom every single day of the year, just like a professional athlete, I would. Because there's no doubt about it. Having someone to help you constantly reflect, constantly identify in an objective way what's happening, constantly develop a tactical plan for immediate next steps. Look, that would be awesome for every teacher, and I would hope that for them, and I would hope that every teacher would want that, because what a gift that would be. They would have the support equivalent to being a professional athlete. But the reality is that that's just not true. And the reality is that will never be true, right? That's just not feasible. It's why we invest so much in coaching with coaches in person, but it's also the reality that every coach says, I'm stretched too thin. I have so many other duties assigned. I want to get to teachers, but I'm having to prioritize by the urgency of what's happening in every individual classroom. And so the AI Coach platform is really meant as that in between, just as you said, right? It is to support the existing feedback process that's implemented in every building. I hold true that every school leader is a school leader because they want to help teachers have greater impact with students, right? They're not there to punch the clock. So if they're not in classrooms, then there's something else that's pulling on their time, right? And so this isn't about anybody doing the wrong thing. This is just about helping us move closer toward the version of the world where teachers have more access to tools that support their thinking about how they're doing as professionals.
I love that. For the viewers and listeners out there who want to try this platform out in real time for free, well, our friend Adam Geller is making that a reality for you. We are going to put a link in the show description for this week's episode, but you can also just visit edthena.com/charterschoolsuperstars, and you can have the opportunity to try out this AI professional development platform for free. Do a whole PD cycle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anybody that uses that link, they'll be able to log in with their school email, do an entire coaching cycle. And we should probably talk a little bit more about what that is in a minute, but they can do the entire coaching cycle, plan for that to take about 2 weeks, just like a coaching cycle would in the real world. You're talking about less than 2 hours of active time in the platform. And at the end of it, not only have you done this professional learning, but every time you complete a cycle on the AI Coach platform, you receive a PD hour certificate, which is really valuable as well. So you don't even have to be interested because it's something cool or something innovative. You can be interested in this because it's going to help you get those PD hours that you need.
All right. Well, since you brought it up, can you walk us through what one of these PD cycles looks like? Now I'm curious.
Okay, absolutely. So the AI Coach cycle has 4 phases: analyze, reflect, enact, and impact. So in the analyze phase, teachers are analyzing a video of classroom instruction that they've uploaded. They're sharing that inside the platform. The virtual coach is providing customized observation tips based on what they want to be observing themselves for. And they're going through the videos moment by moment and adding comments tied to, checks for understanding or use of academic language, whatever they're interested in observing themselves for. So then that's the analyze phase. Then the next phase is reflect. So you've got all these comments. It's time to reflect on those comments, summarize them. What are you learning about your practice overall? And turn those summaries into a restated version of a goal, right? Because what good is this reflection if it's not forward looking for something that can be about improvement, self-improvement? So you've turned your reflections into a goal. Then the next phase is enact. This is when you develop an action plan for your classroom. It's a strategic next step to help you make progress against that goal that you've defined. So this is where, again, the AI coach Edie is able to provide customized, curated resources based on the particular topics that you're interested in. P.S. Note, Edie is not ever going to tell you what to do because that's bad coaching. And also, nobody wants you to tell her. No teacher wants to be told what to do, right?
Yeah,
all right,
really, you really know your customer there. That's
that's the truth of it, right? That's the truth of it. All right, so you've developed this action plan in the enact phase, and then it's time to take a pause, right? You need to go into your classroom. You're going to develop a lesson plan, using these new strategies that you want to use. You're going to try them out. You're going to collect new data, and then that's sometime within the next 2 weeks. Is the timeline that the virtual coach is suggesting. And then the teacher comes back to the platform, kind of like a follow-up meeting with the coach to essentially report back. What happened when I tried those changes? Was it good? Did it have the effect I wanted? Should I continue this change? Should I stop this change? What are the implications for future learning? They're able to document all that. And then at the end of that, they set a time for the next coaching cycle, which is really important, but they also get the reflection log, which is the artifact of all this great learning they've been doing, and that PD hour certificate.
You can visit edthena.com/charterschoolsuperstars and try out this new AI professional development platform for free for one full cycle. Our guest has been Adam Geller, the CEO of Edthena, a video-based teacher coaching platform doing some really cool stuff in the PD space. Adam, as always, this has been such a pleasure. I now have to go email a bunch of my colleagues about the cool stuff you guys are working on now. Before we let you go, though, one last question that I particularly enjoy asking you every time you join us. If with the snap of your fingers you could make any change to the education system, what change would it be?
I think right now, where it's fall 2022, and when I think about some of the conversation that's happening, especially in the public discourse about education, it's really focused on the challenges we're having for staffing classrooms. And that's true. There are staffing challenges, and those challenges also are disproportionately hitting some schools and some networks more than others. But I think if I could snap my fingers, I would change that conversation, because while those challenges are true, it's really taking away from our opportunity to talk about what's going right in education right now. We have a lot of great teachers that are still in the classroom, a lot of great leaders that are still in the schools, and they're doing the hard work day to day. And I think if we could shift that conversation back to the progress we are making and the ways we are making progress after the last several years of disrupted education, I think that would just, reduce the friction and make it emotionally a bit easier for the educators that are doing the hard work every day for the benefit of their students.
And we certainly appreciate the hard work and tireless dedication of all of the education professionals that we work with. And we are equally appreciative of the companies that help support those educators and other professionals to become the best versions of themselves. So thank you for the work that you do, Adam, and thank you for being on with us this week.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us. And we're really excited to have your listeners and viewers try out the AI Coach platform and let us know what they think. It's brand new, and we're just so excited to have more teachers get a chance to try it out.
You got it, man. Thank you all for checking out Charter School Superstars. We'll see you next time.
views expressed on the preceding program have been those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Academica, its clients, staff, affiliates, or advertisers.